So we're just before the Perry City Council meeting, and tonight it is my pleasure to introduce our invocation speaker tonight. He's a local fellow who's been with us and in this community for a tremendously long time. He's a fellow citizen here in the city of Perry, but he's also pastor at Van Town Church. And tonight he's going to deliver our invocation for us. Pastor Kingsley.
Thank you. Not John Mills.
I was only teasing, but I did do that, Pastor Mills.
So thank you, council, for your work. I appreciate it. I love our town, and looking forward to more good things. Thank you. Father, I want to thank you for the privilege to be here. Thanks for the land we live in, the state, the city. Thank you for our neighbors, businesses, and our leadership here tonight. Thank you for the blessings to have, things like city water and sewage, trash removal, and natural gas, and electricity, and internet, all the stuff we enjoy every day. Thank you for the peace and security in our town. We don't live with fear of great violence. And we have fire services and ambulances and all these things, God, that keep us protected beyond many people's wildest dreams. Thank you for this town. Thank you for the leaders here. I'm asking for their sake, would you give them grace to lead this town, to make good decisions for the benefit of the people? We pray for our town's sake that they would lead wisely, justly, mercifully, and rightly. And we thank you all, Lord, this time. Thanks for an opportunity to pray, and give them grace to do their work tonight. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pastor, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Time is now 7 o'clock, and I will call to order this regular meeting of the Perry City Council for Thursday, June 20th. Would everyone please rise if you're able? Would you please join me in saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll go ahead, go faster next time, Chris, just for you. All right. Thank you. Everyone may be seated. Devin, would you please call the roll?
Craig Elliott.
Here.
Minnie Gallavy. Here. Adam Brass.
Here.
Christopher Powell.
Here.
Michael Queen.
Here.
Terry Wood.
Here.
Mayor James Hughley.
Here.
All is accounted for.
Outstanding. I find that a quorum is present. So we will move to approval of the agenda. The clerk and I have prepared the agenda, and to the best of our knowledge, it has all matters of business that need to come before you for your consideration tonight. I submit it to you for your approval or your amendment.
Move that the agenda be adopted as printed. I'll second.
Moved by Queen, seconded by Elliott, that the agenda be adopted as printed. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. The motion carries. We will now move to reading and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Devin, would you please read the minutes of the June 6th regular meeting?
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from the June 6, 2019 regular meeting.
Moved by Wood, seconded by Queen, that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes of the June 6, 2019 regular meeting. Is there any discussion regarding the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. That brings us to pre-approved reports and presentations. Councilman Elliott, the floor is yours.
All right. Which one do we want to do? Is there one we want to do first?
Person that's here. Do you have your list to mention the honorable mentions again?
No, I didn't. All right. Here to announce the winners for the June 2019
presentation of Perry Pride. This is for those in the southeast area of town, is what I was in charge of looking through, and there are several wonderful looking residences and businesses in that area that were doing a great job of representing Perry. It was very difficult to pick just one. So I had an extensive list of honorable mentions. I'll say those real quick before I call up our winner. The honorable mentions were Kyle Trimmel, Richard and Jane Easton, and Steve and Cynthia, I'm going to say Witcher or Wicker, I think, one of those two, W-I-C-H-A-R. But for our Perry Pride winner for June of 2019, I'd like to have Bruce and June Benson. Come on up. Just say congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Bruce couldn't be here.
I understand, I heard, sorry for that. But here, I'd like to present this to you as an award, as a token of your,
Now?
you absolutely can for all you've done.
Oh, that is really
Making
nice.
Perry look beautiful, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to many more months of beautiful yards.
Yes, well, I really appreciate this. This is very encouraging. Makes me work a little harder.
Oh,
And my daughter is always helping me, Tracy Hill.
Fantastic.
I'm sure most people know Tracy.
mm-hmm.
And
Fantastic.
I'm very proud of her. She just received
Come up to get in the picture,
her
Tracy.
associate's degree.
Oh, really?
My house. So but she worked full-time, Mug and Bops, and
Uh-huh.
she worked full-time at school, so I had
Fantastic.
to. I had to
Congratulations on all that,
So-
yes,
but
congratulations.
Thank you so much, this is really encouraging.
Thank you. Appreciate you being able
Thanks.
to come and
Thank you
accept the
very much.
award.
Open that and then get a picture next to
Sure,
the
yes.
plaque.
This is the plaque.
And let's not forget to mention the award that she gets from our sponsor.
Oh, yes, okay.
Darling's Hardware.
So this is a plaque just for you to hang on your wall.
That's very good.
Or somewhere in there.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
then here is our plaque that we hang on the wall here, and recognition of each one. Now your name is on there too.
Thank you
So
so much.
congratulations. And then finally, there's a gift card, and I'd like to
Oh,
congratulations to the Perry Pride Award winner, to Bruce and June Benson from Darling's Hardware.
wonderful. Thank you
You
so
are-
much.
A little help from Darling to keep that beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
I forgot my lighter over there.
That's all right, fingers work great, don't they? Or somewhat good.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
So therefore, you can use those to help keep your
Well,
yard going.
now I can get rid of the moles.
That's right, there you go.
Okay, well,
Thank you very much.
No, we cut the line
And he's out left.
Tracy helps me a lot. so-
Oh,
I saw Terry over there smirking too. What? But I saw Terry over there smirking.
That's what Terry spends most of his council meetings doing.
Well, yeah, we does best. Well, maybe.
That's your first one.
All set? Okay, outstanding. Okay, I'm going to make an announcement. I actually thought we'd have a larger crowd here, but I'm going to assume that we're getting a viewing audience on YouTube. And so my phone has been ringing off the hook regarding the project on M52. The city is aware of it. And so for those who are interested in what's going on out there, we are certainly happy to take phone calls and as much as I can to have a discussion with individuals regarding that project. I have also prepared a list of folks that are involved. A project like that with concrete crushing is not completely under the city's jurisdiction, but is in fact heavily governed by the state, including at least 2 administrative departments involved, the Michigan Department of Transportation and the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. Our drain commissioner is also aware of what is going on, as is our county commissioner. but for the convenience of citizens who want to talk to important people about what's going on and have any concerns you may have heard, I have prepared a contact list that'll be available at City Hall for anyone who wants it. It includes telephone numbers and names of folks that are involved in questions related to this project, including my own contact information, should you not have it. If anyone here would like to get it, I'm going to pass them down and put them at the end of the table there. For anyone who's listening on YouTube, please feel free to come into City Hall. To the best of my ability, I will return phone calls and listen to what folks have to say. And if anyone has a more detailed conversation they want to have, I will make myself available to have those conversations. Please leave me a message if you call and I don't answer it. I work a full-time job. Sometimes I can't pick up the phone, but I am listening to every voicemail that I receive. With that, we are now to the next part of our agenda, which is public comment. It is at this time during our meetings and at the end, under any other business may come before council, that we open the floor for members of the public to address the council on any matter. There is a 3-minute time limit on public comments. Each person is entitled to 3 minutes in the first section and an additional 3 minutes in the second section, should they wish to take it. Would anyone from the public like to address the council on any matter?
I think I came here and we can't talk.
You know, we're really close. We're one short of a quorum of the planning.
I saw that.
So, welcome, Bob. We're glad
Bob
to hear
Porter,
from you.
330 North Madison. I don't know if this is a council meeting issue or not, but can we try to lower the speed limit from the railroad tracks to either Polly or Horace? I know it speeds right up at 35 right at the post office. And if you ever tried to cross the street at Polly, it's maddening some days. People don't follow the speed limits to begin with, but if we could lower it to 25 for another block or two, it might help the people going to try to cross the street on foot. And then related, on the corner where I live, there's a 4-way stop sign or a 3-way, and I watch people every day zip through it. So I know that's not a council issue, but I thought I'd bring that up.
I'll bring that to the attention of the police officers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Let me give just a quick update for everybody. I know I get this question a lot. M52 is a Michigan highway, which means the city does not set the speed limits on Michigan highways. MDOT does. In the past, when we've made efforts to get the speed limit slowed down, that 25-mile-an-hour zone keeps shrinking. It didn't used to start at the post office. It used to start a little further north. City Council can make a request to MDOT to do a traffic study in which they'll determine if the speed limit should be lowered there. But they may also determine that the speed limit should be raised there, so we could get the exact opposite effect of what we want. The way it works is they look at the average speed that everybody's traveling, and if they're far enough above the speed limit, then they tend to raise it, with very few exceptions. So that's something council can consider, but you run the risk that we're going to get more of a 35-mile-an-hour zone or possibly even a higher speed zone should MDOT's traffic study determine that's the case. And based on their experience with East Lansing, who kept a nice stretch of Saginaw Road at 35 through a lawsuit for a long time, if we agree to a traffic study, we have to agree to accept whatever they determine, even a result we don't like. All that to say, Bob, I don't disagree with you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, we'll move down. Thank you very much. This will take us to communications. Devin, do you have any communications for us tonight?
Not tonight.
Very good. Can you refresh my memory on what I was going to tell council about SATA? There it is.
It's the report.
It's our usual thing. They want money, but I couldn't remember all the details. So we have received our letter from SATA for the annual contribution to provide public transportation services here in the city of Perry. which is covered by a millage that the voters have put in place for up to a quarter mil. Each year, the city levies the amount that is necessary to pay the final obligation to SATA. Two things come around this time of year. One is their final requested amount for the last year's worth of funding, and their anticipated requested amount for the next year of funding. The request for current year funding is in this letter. I'll read it to you. The SATA Board of Directors has made its final fiscal year 2019 budget revisions. The City of Perry's share of the SATA budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019 is $4,647.62. This is $1,033.71 less than your council committed to a year ago. This savings to the City of Perry taxpayers has been made possible by the combination of a decrease in fuel costs, our successful campaign to seek local advertising revenue, as well as our continued efforts to keep our expenses as low as possible. Please see the attached invoice. In order to comply with our auditor's requirements, we ask that this amount be forwarded to us no later than August 1 of 2019. Of course, this payment made sooner than that will be gladly accepted. Another letter requesting local funding committed for the 2020 fiscal year is also being sent. We ask that your council respond to that letter by August 1. SATA is appreciative of the support shown by the City of Perry for SATA and its mission to provide safe, reliable, and affordable transportation to those citizens who need it. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. Mary Rice, their Executive Director. I have here the letter regarding the next year's funding. The SATA Board of Directors has approved the SATA budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019. The formula for determining the share of each of the participating municipalities was followed, and the pertinent figures are attached. The SATA Board has adopted a budget which is as lean as possible, but still enables us to serve the citizens of the 11 participating municipalities. As has been our previous practice, the following request amount will not increase, but could decrease, as it did for the current fiscal year. Any such action would occur in May of 2020. The City of Perry's share of total local funding requested for the fiscal year, October 1, 2019 through September 30, 2020, is not to exceed $6,011.05. The data used to determine the request amount is shown in the attached funding model. We are asking that each participating municipality forward to us their commitment regarding this request, no later than August 1 of 2019. If approved by your council, I would anticipate that you should receive a billing on or about May 15th of 2020 with the requested payment by August 1 of 2020. We wish to thank you and your council for your past support and ask for your continued support as stated above. Of course, we have some new members of council here. Since the last time we went through this, the City of Perry made a choice to put to the voters if they wanted to provide for public transportation. The voters have provided that funding through up to a quarter mil. The benefit to our citizens is that they are able to get reduced rates on SATA buses as compared to individuals who live in non-participating communities. And SATA serves this community, meaning our residents can call ahead and schedule rides according to that service schedule. Residents in non-participating communities can only schedule rides if they can make those rides coincide with a SATA bus going to a participating community, and they pay higher rates. So that's the benefit our citizens get, having this dial-a-ride public transportation. Also, let's see, I have one more thing. I need to advise council that your moratorium regarding replacement of marijuana businesses and asking for time to put our zoning ordinances in place is on the verge of expiring in the next month. Letting you know that moratorium that we put in place is almost done. We can talk about that more later during the meeting. We have a couple of zoning ordinances before you that will take up other business. That's all I have, unless council has questions for me tonight. Hearing no questions, I'll close my report. We'll move to committee reports. Do council members have any committee reports they wish to deliver tonight? I'm sorry,
Do you want me to speak about Saturday?
do you want to give a report on Saturday?
I'm excited about it.
Okay.
Cool. I attended the.
Devin is our representative, one of our representatives to SATA, so we'll have her give a report.
I attended the SATA meeting and just great highlights. The overall meeting seemed to be done very well. Their budget seems to be fine. Two things, they apply for grants to replace their buses, and they've gotten approved, so the state will be getting them grants for 2 new buses. And the big push that I gave some input on it is that they are going to communicate and work on are getting grants for veterans to be able to use the buses. And so I'm cheering them on and can't wait to hear if that's successful and that they take it on, because the biggest thing is the ride. So I just want to share that they found some grants to support the vets for the riding the buses, and kudos to them.
Good.
Thank you. Any questions for our representative to the SATA board? Thank you, Deb. Council members have any committee reports? I know I asked, I just don't want to cut you guys off if someone has remembered any report they want to give. We'll close committee reports then, and we'll move to presentation and approval of the bills. Council has had an opportunity to review the bills, and we seek your permission to pay them.
I move that we approve the bills as presented and the payment be authorized.
I'll second.
Moved by Wood, seconded by Elliott, that we approve the bills as presented and payment be authorized. Is there any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. That'll move us to old business, mayor's appointments. I'd ask council if we could leave this on here as no action taken. I don't have any appointments for you tonight, but I'm working on a couple of appointments that I hope to have before you within the next month. May I have your consent to leave it with no action taken?
Yeah.
Very good. We'll move to the next item of old business, which is the possible adoption of amended zoning ordinance number 344 regarding definitions of adult businesses. This ordinance came before council at the last meeting for possible final approval. At the request of the council members present, it was deferred to this meeting in the hope that we would have everyone here and everyone would get a chance to speak on this and a chance to vote on it. So we have a full council here tonight, and I'm going to open the floor up for you guys. Discussion, comments, motions, however council would like to proceed.
Well, we're a quiet bunch tonight, ain't we?
Move that the ordinance number 344, which amends the zoning ordinance, RE definitions of adult businesses, and which was read at the April 18th regular council meeting, be adopted.
Second.
Moved by Queen, seconded by Grass, that ordinance number 344, which amends the zoning ordinance regarding definitions of adult businesses and which was read at the April 18th regular council meeting, be adopted. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, does anyone want to request a roll call? Hearing no request, all in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no.
No.
This will require a roll call. I'll call the roll. Councilman Grass.
Yes.
Councilman Wood.
Yes.
Councilman Powell.
No.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Delbany, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Councilman Queen.
Yes.
The vote is 5-1. The motion passes. We will move to new business. First item of new business is the possible adoption of amended zoning ordinance number 343 regarding definitions of marijuana establishments. I'll open the floor up for discussion and motions, whatever the council would like to do.
I move that ordinance number 343, which amends the zoning ordinance regarding definitions of marijuana establishments and which was read at the June 6th regular council meeting, be adopted.
Second.
Moved by Elliott, seconded by Grass, that ordinance number 343, which amends the zoning ordinances regarding definitions of marijuana establishments and which was read at the June 6th regular council meeting, be adopted. Is there discussion? Hearing none, do we need a roll call? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no.
No.
That will require a roll call. I'll call the roll. Councilman Queen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Galvin.
Yes.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes.
Councilman Powell.
No.
Councilman Wood.
Yes.
Councilman Grass.
Yes.
The vote is 5-1. The motion passes. Thank you very much, everybody. That'll move us to our next item of new business. Possible first reading of ordinance number 346 regarding heavy equipment operations. I don't actually have a pen. Do you have one?
I do.
If I can get a pen in the process, I'll go ahead and work on these. This is the ordinance that council discussed and requested at our last meeting to deal with the operation of heavy machinery and establish hours of operation and permitted noise levels. This is an update to our ordinance regarding gravel pits and is designed to be more clearly inclusive of heavy equipment, including concrete crushing. Given the activity that has been going on in our area, I have asked the clerk to arrange for the proper posting of this so that council has the opportunity to pass it for immediate effect. I'll open the floor up for discussion, questions, motions, whatever the council wishes. This one has to be read all the way through.
Just to basically go through and follows what's going on with the quarry.
Yes, it's modeled after that. It essentially makes clear that those requirements go beyond the scope of heavy equipment in a gravel pit.
You want me to put it in play?
It's up to you, Terry. You can.
All right. I move that the city of Perry ordains heavy equipment operation. No person within the city shall, directly or indirectly, either in person or by his or her agent, employee, or licensee, conduct the transportation, processing, and or removal of mineral material, concrete material, construction material, or any other material in excess of 50 tons per year in the regular operation of a business in violation of these restrictions. Treatment of areas of operation to prevent nuisance, dirt tracks, interior roads, parking lots, and haul road loading and unloading areas shall be treated so as to limit the nuisance caused by wind-blown dust or dust from truck traffic. Preventative measures shall be taken to avoid dirt tracks on the adjacent hard surface road left by trucks leaving the site. 2. Hours of operation. The maximum range of hours of operation is from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Operations shall be prohibited on legal holidays and Sundays. Reclamation. All debris and rubbish shall be removed from the operation area within 6 months of the date of termination of operations. 4. Noise. At no point either on the boundary of a residence, business, or commercial district, or at 40 meters from the nearest property line of a plant or operation, whichever distance is greater, shall the sound pressure level of any individual operation or plant or the combined operations of any person, firm, or corporation exceed decibel levels of 60 decibels. 5. Penalty. Violation of this ordinance shall be considered a municipal civil infraction, subjecting the violator to a fine not exceeding $500. Each day of the continued violation shall be considered to be a separate violation. 6. This ordinance is declared to be immediately necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, or safety. Therefore, this ordinance is effective immediately. The city clerk shall post copies of this ordinance in conspicuous locations in 5 public places in the city and shall publish the ordinance in the usual manner.
Moved by Wood, seconded by Queen, to enact the ordinance as just read. I'll open the floor up for discussion.
Is there any reason why the hours and the days were picked as they were?
They were consistent with our existing ordinance regarding gravel pits. It took what was an already established standard set up by a previous council through a committee process and simply made it more clear so that there would be no way to argue that it doesn't apply outside of gravel pit. So it clearly does. But the standards remain the same as they've been.
So we were consistent.
Yeah.
Does anyone know how much noise 60 decibels
That's a
is?
good question, I was gonna ask.
We would need a sound meter to do that.
What do you think, Mike?
Who's gonna measure
Your
this?
brand new truck, you
would
crank
be
up
the
your
police.
Bose speakers, what's 60? Huh?
AC level.
No, I just like the volume goes to like 48 or. Do you have any idea what
No,
your
I'm not
speakers?
Consider myself an expert to go make that.
60 decibels is not very noisy.
I like it. Typical car engine or something on it, might be a little louder.
A loud exhaust system would
Yeah.
probably go over 60 decibels.
Yep.
Okay, but I say 60 decibels and you don't hear it, how many decibels are there?
However many there was.
Depends on how many trees are around.
You've heard that one before.
The conversation going on at this table is slightly under 60 decibels. When I'm talking directly at the phone here, I am varying between 60 and 80 decibels, with it held right about here.
I thought you were awful loud.
I am. But I wonder how you would be if we moved you closer to the phone.
How big does the meter
This
go?
is just a free app that I downloaded on my phone, but even if it's not exact and precise, this isn't the device that will be used for enforcement, and it gives us an idea about what we're talking about.
That's not loud.
Would it be Audrey to ask if there was a way to switch maybe all of our ordinance operation hours to like Monday through Friday? Because I'm thinking like a lot of people are home on Saturdays nowadays. And having something like that going, which is very likely in a situation with construction,
I think we allowed it before, and if we did, we pretty
Tough
much
to
should allow it
roll
now.
it back.
Consistency.
It's something that I think you would want to seek legal advice on if you want to change the overall standards rather than clarify how the standards that already exist are applied. And that would be my suggestion, that if you want to change the standards, you begin a process. Maybe put this into the Finance and Ordinance Committee, maybe have a couple opportunities for public to address you on that, and go through a very thoughtful and considered rather than a rush process before I would change the standards that are already existing.
I think you gotta be careful doing that too, because if you do that, then we're talking specifically down there, but it kinda looks like you're targeting him.
well, I was
Yeah,
thinking
we're
I would, if we were to do it, I mean, we'd probably need to switch it throughout any of the ordinances that would have something.
You have
along
to
those
change
lines.
them too, but
Yeah.
they've already been existent for what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, I would say not do it immediately, but it's something to look into.
Something council could consider. Further discussion? Do we need a roll call?
Just the decibel levels are, I mean, at 60, just doesn't seem possible.
Well, and you have to consider the distance factor involved. It's not limited to 60 decibels at the machine.
At the property line. Now, is the guy that wants to do the crushing, it's right behind his house, isn't it?
No.
Across the street.
Oh, it is across the street.
It's right beside his business,
Okay.
I guess. Is that a business? Yeah.
There's a business out there. The garage, the business is actually in the township.
Yes.
They did actually move their business, their garage business, towing business down to that area, right? From the,
Whatever operation they were doing, yes.
okay.
There's been some work by the county to inspect what's going on. The county found that they weren't operating that kind of a business. I haven't inspected their garage, nor have I attempted to, so I'm just not going to define what their business is.
Understood.
They moved what their business was to that garage down there in Southern.
That's all.
Further discussion? All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. The motion carries. That will move us to possible first reading of ordinance number 347 regarding amendment to trash refuse. This goes back to the last meeting where the clerk and I discussed with council a request by a property owner who had previously received an additional trash service for a business they were operating in their home, no longer need that additional trash service. And I had found that under our ordinances and policies, nobody within the city's administration had authority to make such determination, to opt someone out. We suggested that council establish some rules to deal with this issue, and working with the city attorney, we have put together an amendment to the ordinance that would empower the DPW superintendent, based on some criteria being set in the ordinance, to make a determination and allow someone to opt out of trash for unusual circumstances. Council's had the ordinance, had a chance to read it. You have to do a full reading of it tonight. And with that, I'm going to open the floor up for questions, discussion, and motions.
I'll go ahead and make the motion. I move that ordinance number 347 regarding amendment to trash refuse, and which reads as follows, be placed on the next agenda for possible adoption. The City of Perry ordains Perry City Code Section 1082.01 is repealed, and the below stated code section 1082.01 shall stand in its place instead. 1082.01, responsibility of owners or occupants. Every owner, occupant, or person in possession of a residential premise in the city is required to have accumulations of refuse removed and disposed of in accordance with this chapter, other city ordinances, and in accordance with the rules and regulations promulgated under this chapter. The city shall provide for such refuse removal services, which may include recycling services for residential premises. There shall be paid to the city the charges specified by the city council for such services. The superintendent of public works shall be authorized to exempt a premise from this requirement if deemed proper due to the unique nature of the property or due to extenuating circumstances. This ordinance is effective 30 days after publication.
Moved by Elliott, seconded by Queen, to, regarding ordinance 347 regarding amendments to trash refuge, and which was just read, be placed on the next agenda for possible adoption. Is there discussion? Do we need a roll call? I just give you guys an opportunity to set the voice vote if you want to. We can do a voice vote every time. All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. That will move us to the next item of business, which is possible approval to reschedule or cancel the July 4th council meeting. So as it happens, our regular council meeting schedule puts our first meeting in July right on the 4th of July. Should you guys wish, you may have that meeting and I will be here. However, I thought you all might like to have your holiday and enjoy that. It would be my recommendation that council cancel the July 4th meeting, provided, however, if we can agree upon a time away from the 4th of July and prior to our second meeting in July, where we can have a special meeting. I'd like to get together and have a discussion and give council an update regarding our efforts related to Dune Buggy Shop and the option the city holds. I think it's time that I give you guys an update on what's going on. I'd like a special meeting for that. That could be short, or it could be as long as you guys need to make sure all your questions are answered. Because of the timelines of the option, I'd like to take care of that before we're all the way out to July 18th. That way you guys are up to date, and when I have a plan, I can put it in front of you with you guys already knowing most of what's going on. So I'll open this up for discussion on what you guys want to do with the 4th of July, and if we can find a time for a special meeting.
It's probably gonna rain. on the 4th. And if it does, we can have it.
How about if it rains, we have it, if it don't, we won't.
You put that into your motion.
Aye.
Move that it rains or here. Well,
I-
8th.
I think we
Next
ought to
Monday.
cancel it, just like throw a special meeting in there.
Okay,
Will
well,
we get paid double because it's a holiday?
now you know.
Yeah, you gotta give up twice your pay.
Anybody have a problem with the following Monday?
Well, they can call it special.
That's
Well, I'm looking for when folks will be available. I'd like to have everybody there if possible. And so I'm looking at either early in the week of the 4th or the next week. I could certainly do Monday the 8th, but I'd like to schedule a time that allows as many of you as possible to attend. I'd like you all to get the update.
That's fine with me. Any day's good with me.
We've got two
It's
for
okay
me.
with me.
Okay, and that doesn't conflict with the planning commission.
Yeah, so that's 4.
They can go upstairs.
That's okay, they're here at the first.
Mike said it was good too, so that's 4.
Okay. Who don't we have?
I'm good.
Okay, very good. So, I, with full council present, so we don't have to serve notices at your home, am calling a special meeting of the Perry City Council for Monday, July 8th to occur here in council chambers, commencing at 7 p.m.
I move that we cancel the July 4th, 2019 regular city council meeting due to the lack of a quorum, and reschedule for July 8th, 2019 at 7 p.m.
I'll second.
Moved by Queen, seconded by Elliott, that we cancel the July 4th, 2019 regular council meeting due to lack of a quorum and reschedule. Oh, no, we're not rescheduling, we're just canceling.
That's correct.
That is correct.
Discussion.
We're gonna call it special.
I already did.
That's what I said, so we're just canceling.
Very good.
You can't cancel for, what was that reason you can't cancel for you? I don't care.
So then I need to change this to cancel.
Yes.
I move that we cancel the July 4th, 2019 regular city council meeting due to the lack of a quorum.
Second.
Moved by Queen, seconded by Elliott, to cancel the July 4th, 2019 regular city council meeting due to lack of a quorum. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. This will move us to possible approval of extended maintenance agreement for Schindler Elevator Corporation. Devin, did you want to talk to council about this?
If you recall, I reported that there was a couple of items from Schindler Elevator that we use as our contract service. And one item has been resolved. I reported that I was not happy with the quoting to replace the phone in the elevator, is what I was told. I went back to Schindler, told them that they were gonna force me to have to go out for bids, it's just too much. Luckily, a couple of things happened. One, they did reduce it by $200, still too much. And two, the elevator companies that I dealt with, because we don't deal with them, they literally were gonna charge us to come out to see if it, before we even got an estimate. But Kyle had already told me prior to the meeting that he believed he had a tool to be able to go into our elevator phone to open it up. That was the issue with our telephone company when I asked him to go in there. So when I told him that I had called the state, because I wanted to know whether it was required, ADA, whether we had to have the state says yes. And I said, well, can we buy the box and fix it ourselves? Because our administration does that sometimes. We fix it ourselves and save some money. And their advice was they were highly against that, because if anything would go and you get state inspected, you could be fined, and Schindler is your safeguard, and they're the ones that can get all your legals. So Kyle asked me what he wanted me to do, and I said, well, you can open it up, and if you kick it, it works now, that'd be great. Kidding. Anyways, he opened it up and he tested it, and there was nothing wrong with it. So Kyle saved $200. What he's seen is there was some exposed wires, which maybe had shorted out temporarily, maybe, that the other people I had in here didn't see. And so he put electric tape on those exposed wires and tested it, and it seemed to be fine. One savings done. The next item I reported was the state has mandated a test that we have to have on our elevator, which was every 3 years, is now to every year. What I have in front of you is their proposal. They're saying you can do option 1. You stay in the terms of your contract, which right now we're rolled over in our contract. And it's $50 per month. Or you can extend it for 5 years, and it'll be $35 per month, which is a $420 total. And so what I did to see about that extension, I can report to you, 2013, we were at $14.10, and then we went 3 years at $16.92, so there was no increase whatsoever. And then we've seen about a 3% increase, which to me, with all of the factors and the companies we deal with, that is a reasonable increase with the recession and different things like that. So I have went out for bids in the past when it comes to elevator systems, and Schindler always tends to do its best when I go out there, so I'm recommending that we go ahead and do the 5-year extension, which will include that increase of that new inspection that is state mandated. This is not budgeted, but it's $420, which I believe is something that could be, I mean, the contract itself is, but I mean this additional,
the original contract.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, it is.
Move that we approve the extension maintenance agreement for 5 years, which includes an added adjustment of $35 a month for the state-required inspection, the Schneider Elevator Corporation for an amount of $2,357.04, and adjusted annually per details and agreement, and give the mayor authorization to sign.
Second. That doesn't work.
What kind of,
There it goes.
what level did you get?
77.
77. You do better than that, Chris.
Come on, Chris.
Just
Moved by Queen, seconded by Powell, that we approve the extension maintenance agreement 5 years, which includes the added adjustment of $35 a month for the state required inspection with Schindler Elevator Corporation for an amount of $2,357.04 and adjusted annually per details in agreement and give mayor authorization to sign. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no.
With regret, aye.
Motion carries. Is that a request that I veto it, Terry? And then send a copy to the governor?
Put my name on it.
Well, I can pass to Mike the ability to veto it, but I don't know of a way to pass it to you. That'll move us to our final item of new business, which is fourth quarter budget comparisons and possible amendments. I have for you tonight one of the stars of our office with an ever-changing hair color, our city treasurer, Joanne Duffy.
Hey!
Oh my gosh. Well, folks, it's that time of the year again, and we're at our fourth quarter. Now, this is an estimated of what we're at to date. Apparently, after the fourth quarter, which would be June 30th, according to the auditors, I cannot make amendments. So we need to do these as best we can beforehand. So, all of the amendments this year, or this quarter, are going to be in general. Just a little bit of information. So far to date, our revenues for general fund, we had budgeted $1,135,000, and we have so far to date actually taken in $1,145,000. So we're over on our revenues, and that is located on page 2. And then if you look to the bottom of page 11, this is our revenues, or I'm sorry, our expenditures of what we've expended so far. For general fund, we had budgeted $1,141,000, and so far to date, we have spent $1,060,749. So we have unused expenditures, which is what I'm using to pay for the additional budget amendments that I'm asking for general fund. So, the first one that I have is in 101, and that is, I believe, executive, and we're using it for publishing and printing. This is for the newsletters and anything that becomes printed. Now, the line items in 101 are very limited, so this is why I'm asking for this request. There isn't a number of accounts that if you're over or under, it'll eventually equal itself out. That's not the case for this. So I'm requesting for 101, 000, 900, 000, publishing and printing. I'm requesting an increase of $2,000. The original budget was $2,760. The new budget line item is going to be $4,760. And that request is on page 3. And if you look in through your budget, all the requests have shaded lines, so they're easy to track. The second request I'm making is for 101-171, which is council. I'm sorry, it's not council. Devin, do you have a...
Hospital insurance.
101.
101 is legislative. 101-171 is executive. And that has hospital insurance for, I believe that's for Dory, because she is, part of her salaries are also charged to the executive. So I'm requesting a $500 increase. The original budget is $7,300, and the new budget amount is going to be $7,800. And then I have 101-202-000-940 is building lease. I'm requesting an additional $5,000. The original budget amount that I put in there was $60,750. And the new budget total is gonna be $65,750. This is completely my fault, it's an error. When I did my chart to put this in there, I looked at the wrong year. So this is totally on me. And then 101-202-000975, the line item is new building. This is the $3,400 that was approved for the lease purchase. Mayor, what is when we, it's a purchase agreement, a purchase option?
The
Purchase
option.
option. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Option on the dune buggy shop.
Yes, exactly, that's what that is for. There was 0 budgeted in that line item, and so we're amending that to cover the $3,400. And the last one is 101-210-000825-100, legal fees. I'm increasing, or asking for an increase of $500. The original budget total was $2,000. And so the new budget total is going to be $2,500. Again, that section is very limited line items, so this will make the whole thing balanced for the year. And so the total of adjustments that I'm asking for is $11,400. And again, that is just in general fund. Everything else, all the other funds, water, sewer, office supplies, motor pool, are all looking great. So any questions,
We just slipped that all.
comments,
Yeah, we just slipped that all. in the new bit.
observations?
We what?
Any questions other than Terry's? No, I'm just kidding. What do you need,
I
Terry?
think maybe I need to remind Terry. Terry, I know she said it's her fault, but it's not really true. I'm the boss, so it's my fault.
Yeah.
So, should you wish to yell at anybody, you may yell at me tonight. If she needs yelling at, I'll do that later in private.
You said you're gonna
It's
smack
more
her?
fun in public.
Hit him, hit him.
If we slipped all that money in the new building, we could have maybe.
Oh,
put that in the library.
I still got some stuff to work out, but we'll be able to talk about that on the 8th, Terry.
Okay.
And if you'll look on page 2, this is just another, just for your general information. On page 2, line item 101-000-673, we had 0 budgeted in that line item. And you see revenues of $48,828. That's the sale of the Britton property, Britton Pines. So that's where it went. It went into the general revenues under that line item.
That's what that realtor, Jamie Bates, did for us, giving us a good price.
What line item was that? Give me the number.
670.
101-673. If you follow it across, it'll say 0 budgeted, and then it'll have actual revenues of $48,000. So y'all should have got an electronic copy of this as on your, did you get it? Did you? Okay, Mindy, I wasn't sure on yours was an email address. I want to check with you. Make sure
Did you get yours, Terry?
No, I didn't. How come?
Do you have a computer?
I'm greatly disappointed.
Would you like a computer?
What's a computer?
Would you like a laptop? You can watch movies, play games, write letters.
No, they keep wanting me to get online. I'm not climbing any pole.
I'm working on a new process, though we can text these things to you, Terry, so you can sit up there at the downtown diner and read them on your phone.
Yeah, if they have free Wi-Fi, you
That
can look
other
there for
facility
free.
does that. I'm gonna bring him over here and introduce you.
You've told me that before.
I know, but I keep forgetting.
I'm there all week.
Oh, by the way, I am old, you know, I can forget. I love playing games. God, I love it.
Mine's lack of oxygen, that's what they told me. They told me that yesterday.
You do see this ink pen in these papers here, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's my brain portion for memory.
I have a file, I have a 3-ring binder in my office that says my brain, and it's like every useless bit of information that you'll ever want to remember, I can go in there and find it, and it's, yep, there it is. That's not really useless, but It's just too
Sounds
much.
very useful to me.
It's just too much to keep track of. It's all misspelled words. It's, you know, like the most common misspelled words, effort, you know, which one do you use? Anyway, and it's officers and bond information and, yeah, it's about this thick.
And allowed this to venture far afield and draw us back into the proposed budget amendments
Thank you.
and ask what council would like to do.
I
Well,
move
let
we
me
approve the
see.
following fourth quarter budget amendment as presented by the treasurer.
Second that.
She read it, so we don't have to.
That was too loud.
Moved by Queen, seconded by, who did the second? Was it Mr. Powell?
Yeah, got it in.
That we approve the following fourth quarter budget amendments as presented by the treasurer. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. That will conclude our new business and move us to any other business may come before council. This is our second opportunity for members of the public to address the council on any matter. Would anybody from the public like to address the council on anything at this time? Seeing no public comment, do members of council have any additional items of business that need to come before you for your consideration tonight? Seeing none, we will move to council discussions and observations. Councilwoman Yelsey. Let's see, who did I pick on first last time? I think I picked on you, so Councilman Grass,
I'm good.
Councilman Elliott,
I'm fine.
Councilman Powell.
Sorry, I missed the last meeting. It will happen again, but I'm apologizing now. So, thanks for holding these votes until we talked, until we got together. Appreciated it. And hope everybody had a good couple of weeks without me saying, have a good couple of weeks till the next meeting. So, that's all I hope for.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Councilman Wood.
Yes. I guess I got a little thing that's been annoying me, and I've mentioned it before.
I know, but you've told me how annoying I am before this.
I know. But on top of that, I had to stop again for cars coming at me because this guy's walking some dogs and won't walk on the sidewalk. I really think we ought to start instructing our officers to start warning these people and then eventually cite them. I mean, if we're not gonna do that, then let's take the $18,000 we're gonna put into sidewalks and put it into somewhere we really need it. I mean, it's one or the other. If we're gonna improve these sidewalks, let's get the people up on there. We've got cars that are parking on these sidewalks all the time. I think that needs to be addressed. I mean, maybe that's part of the reason why they don't wanna walk on the sidewalk, I don't know. But this waiting for a guy and a dog to get out of the way so you can go around him is just crazy in my opinion when we have sidewalks both sides of the street. It's up to you guys what you wanna do with it, but it's annoying me, can you tell?
Golly, do you have a sign out front that says stay off my grass?
Annoying. No, but I tried to.
He's that old man in the neighborhood's got that sign, stay off the
Somebody ran
grass.
across my yard with their mower and chopped it right down the dirt, and I still been looking for him.
Boy.
I can tell you were annoyed you made it up to 68.7 decibels.
See, is that all?
Mr. Powell got to 85. Of
Man.
course, he's closer.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's, we're spending this money to fix these sidewalks. The sidewalks are there. Now, I granted, if we haven't got any sidewalks yet, walk in the street, I don't have a problem with that. We got them on both sides, and now again, I have to stop and wait for a guy and a dog to get the heck out of the way, and he didn't. He didn't get out of the way. I had to go around him.
Roll your window down and let him know how
I'm gonna
unhappy
get
you
one
were
of those
about
super
it.
soakers.
There you go.
Get it on a mace.
Oh,
It's not the dog's fault.
no, it ain't.
Talking to a guy.
Yes, right in the eye.
I just don't understand the mentality Why we wanna walk in the street when we got sidewalks?
They don't wanna wear them out.
Safer.
It's safer?
Yeah. Good, you go around them.
Maybe they just don't like you telling them to walk on the sidewalks, Terry. If you told them to walk in the street, you'd solve the
I
problem.
haven't said anything to them yet, because I just,
He's right though, people do park on
Make
the
sure.
sidewalks. People do park on the sidewalks, and the cars in their driveways block the sidewalks.
and that's why I'm raising the issue with that. I believe that these cars should not be parking on the sidewalk. Maybe that's part of the problem. So I think the cars and the people that have these cars that parking there all night on the sidewalk should be, but it's up to you guys, it's your city as well as it is mine. I'll go down another doggone street.
Dog gone? Is that
Doggone
the
street.
that doesn't have a dog on it?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Terry. Mayor Pro Tem Mike Queen.
So I think the majority, if not all, schools are out right now, so kids are gonna be out playing, running around, riding bikes. Be cognizant of where they're at, please stop at stop signs, wait for kids to go. And obey the speed limits, and forgive me because I don't know the dates. Councilwoman Davis was always our go-to person for this, but the free lunches for the children, right? So
Yep.
the time, so
It's up on the sign.
so, yeah, so look at the sign, so any kids that don't get food on a regular basis can go and get some free lunch on a daily basis, so look for the sign for that too, take advantage of that program. That's it.
Thank you very much. I think I've talked enough tonight.
Agreed.
Amen.
That'll move us to agenda items for the next meeting. So let's see, we're gonna have mayor's appointments. Adopt that, we adopted that. That's all I see right now. Does anyone else have any other items for the next agenda? Oh, Gavin does.
It'll be the end of July.
Oh, yes, possible final approval of ordinance number 347 as well. Anybody else have any other items? Wait a minute. I've been waiting for this thing to download, maybe.
Muted it.
Oh,
Again,
that's terrible.
We
Okay, never
deal
mind.
with anything with the signs, ordinances, or anything like that?
I did advise council at the last meeting that the moratorium is still in place, has been since it's coming up on a year now, regarding the A-frame signs. The idea was the council was going to take a look at that sign ordinance and determine if changes were needed, or if we wanted to keep it as it is. I would like to see council take this up and make some decisions.
So I need to make an addition, work on making an addition to
Did-
the
I thought
update
that went to
ordinance.
the zone.
Did that go back to zoning or something? It
Nope.
did, didn't it?
No,
Nope, you guys put a moratorium in place and left it open.
I
so
thought
that you
we
could make
put a
some
moratorium
decisions.
and sent it back. Well, I think, send it back, tell
I
them to
will
give us
say-
a recommendation.
I think we did, we're waiting on the Finance and Ordinance Committee to take it up.
so I think that's where I need to
Okay.
look at adding an additional member to.
Who do we have with you so far? Mr. Graves? Okay. I would take volunteers, but Mr. Wood, you had a great deal of concern about this back at the time that we put the moratorium in place. Do you want to join that committee and be able to discuss it? Have a chance to review it and address the concerns you have?
What, the finance committee?
Finance and Ordinance.
Finance and Ordinance is our one standing committee, chaired by the Mayor Pro Tem, to look at ordinances and come back with recommendations. Since they're taking up the sign ordinance, and we, having lost Mrs. Davis, have a vacant seat, I'm suggesting maybe you want to take that seat at least until the sign ordinance is done.
No.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that sounded more like you
I
wanted.
see you out in the parking lot.
Anybody else have an interest in joining that committee? I would like to have one more council member on there.
Mindy,
Mindy? Perfect.
we just need a recommendation out of that committee and then just go with it, do something.
So I can review it and come up with something, but I want to, with the issues that we're having weren't able to get the full group together, so, you know,
Okay, so we'll appoint Mindy Galvin to the standing committee for finance and ordinance and give you a chance to take that up. If members of the council who are not part of the committee want to attend and speak at those meetings, you can do that, but let the mayor pro tem know that you're going to be there. It's 3 council members on the committee, 1 more joining creates a quorum in a special city council meeting. He can get one called in advance so that you can speak, and he can chair that meeting as well. So just make sure he knows ahead of time. Otherwise, you have to sit there and say nothing so that all the committee members can talk. Otherwise, you violate the Open Meetings Act, and I wouldn't want that. It's an easy fix so that you guys can all participate if you want.
I would like to get the, people walking in the road and the cars parked on sidewalks onto the agenda. I think we ought to talk about it. Because I raised the issue and I raised the issue and it's forgotten.
Okay.
I think we need to do something.
Do you want a discussion item on the next agenda?
Is that what you want?
I'm asking you. This is your request.
Well, I think we need to discuss it, and then I think we need to either do something or just forget it.
Okay.
Can we have anything on the sign? A reminder, don't park on the roads, don't walk in the roads, use your sidewalks and make it as a safety
Yes.
reminder for the summer kids?
Yes. We
That
can.
would make sure it's close to the time and date, because after a while, I quit reading it.
We try to rotate those on and off.
There you go.
Does that make sense, Devin? Devin
I'll
communicates
follow,
with the
I'll
school.
follow up with you, yeah.
Very good. Any other items for the next agenda? I now have discussion regarding people walking in the road and not on the sidewalks. If any other items for the agenda come to your attention between now and our meeting on the 18th, please bring them to the attention of the clerk and we will get everything that you need to take action on before you for your July 18th meeting. With that, the time is now 8:13. We are adjourned.